Hey all, welcome to Homeschool and I am back with class 8th science and this is our fourth chapter. We have already completed 3 chapters. Playlist links are provided in the description. You can go and check it out if you have not yet watched. And don't forget to subscribe the channel to learn the concepts in the easiest way and in a detailed way. And coming to this fourth chapter of science, that is metals and non-metals. So what do you mean by a word metal? And what actually we mean by a word non-metal? And where do these metals and non-metals present? You know what? They are present everywhere. Actually speaking, each and everything in the universe is made up of so-called elements. If I take this chalk pencil, this is made up of element. Even chalk piece has so many elements. Chalk piece has calcium, carbon, oxygen. Our human body itself is made up of many elements. The major element is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. We do name so many things, right? Nitrogen, phosphorus. What are all these? We call them as elements. So everywhere elements are there. Board has element, board has one or the other element. Like everywhere, the air is a mixture of many gases. Again, what do you mean by a gas? They are made up of elements. So do you have an idea how many elements we have in our nature? We have around 120 elements. Okay, and these elements have been beautifully arranged in the form of a table called periodic table. So its picture is there on a board. So this is what we mean by periodic table. Okay, so you can see some symbols H, N, O, P, right? So there are so many. Actually, they are the symbols of an element. H in the sense hydrogen, O means oxygen, okay, N in the sense nitrogen. Like that, all elements are beautifully arranged in the form of this particular table. So among these elements, I repeat, among these 100 elements, we say few elements are metals and few elements are non-metals. And we also can categorize these elements into one more category, that is metalloids. Okay, so what I meant to tell you is these elements which you are looking on a table, where are they present? Present everywhere. Okay, so they are present in every chemical substance. So these elements I can divide into 3 categories mainly: metals, non-metals and metalloids. And this chapter is all about learning metals and non-metals. We learn how do metals look like, what are the characteristics they have, how do they react with other substances, right? Reactions of metals, reactions of non-metals, and how do non-metals look like, what are their properties, what are their characters. So everything, the basic understanding we are trying to get in this particular chapter about metals and non-metals. Okay, so this category of elements you will study in higher levels. So now we have to worry about only these 2 things. Okay, so if I ask you to give some examples of metals, you know what? People say iron. Quickly they get iron. See, Fe is the symbol. Let me write it. Iron. Right? So you must have had iron chairs in your house, iron articles, right? So we use iron for various purposes. I mean, for the construction we use iron, right? So everywhere we can see that iron. Iron is one example for metal. Copper, symbol Cu. So what is this? Copper, right? So where is copper used? Yes, electric wires. Right? How do we get current in our houses? It's through wires. Current will pass through wire. So what actually you have in a wire? Outside is a plastic thing. If you remove that colored black or red plastic, inside you will find thin wire. Okay, so they are copper wires. And you must have seen silver, Ag, right? What is this? Silver. So how does silver look like? Right? So these are the best examples of metals. Okay, there are many metals. Among 120 elements, there are many metals. But I am just giving you famous examples of metals that we see around and that we use around. Okay, so iron, copper, Ag, all of them come under a category called metals. Can you tell me what is common property? How do they look? All of them are shiny solids. Iron shines, copper shines, silver shines. So shine is one important character I can say for metals, isn't it? And are they soft or hard? Definitely they are very much hard, right? So when you hit iron, you will get hurt, right? So they are quite hard. Like that, we have some special physical properties for metals. All of them we will discuss. Okay, and coming to non-metals. Okay, so can you give some examples of non-metals around us? Coal, right? So coal is a powder, right? So coal is an example. Sulfur is an example. And you know what? Phosphorus, right? So non-metals are also many, like the gas, oxygen gas. We take oxygen gas from our nose, right? So oxygen gas is very much necessary for a human body. So oxygen gas, hydrogen gas, all these gases, chlorine gas. So there are few things, right? And you know what? This plastic is made up of carbon. I can say carbon, right? So all these are non-metals. So what is common factor among them? You know what? Most of them are in a powder form. They are not very, very hard solids. Okay. So they have some special characters, right? Looking at their physical characteristics, I mean, looking at their hardness, looking at their conductivity property, looking at their certain physical properties, you can decide whether something is a metal or non-metal. So it's very important to understand the physical properties of metals and non-metals, because you must know how to decide whether which is a metal and which is a non-metal. So you can always decide to some extent based on these physical properties. Okay. So in this class, I'm going to talk everything about physical characters of metals and non-metals. So guys, let's study the physical properties in detail. Okay, let's compare the physical properties of metals and non-metals here. See, metals, the first physical property I can say is metals are hard. Metals are generally hard. Okay, so if you think of copper, iron, right? So iron, if you take iron, it's really very hard, right? You can't break it that easily. But remember, all metals are not hard. There is exception. Okay, so there are some metals which are soft also. But generally, 90% of the cases, metals in the sense, they are hard. Okay. So whereas coming to non-metals are soft. Okay. So these guys are soft. They are soft. For example, when you take coal, right, it's a powder. It's nothing but a carbon, right? Powder is very soft. Sulfur available in the form of powder. So it's also very, very soft. Right? So if you want, you can check it out how coal, sulfur, phosphorus looks. So I have pictures on a board, right? So sulfur picture is there, phosphorus picture is there, right? And coal, which is nothing but carbon. You just watch the pictures, they are available in the form of powder. Powder in the sense we categorize it as soft. So this is the first physical property one must remember, right? Okay. And coming to second physical property, imagine you take a iron nail. So iron nails are available in every house, isn't it? And you take a hammer and try to hit the iron nail with a hammer. What do you observe? Shape of iron nail will start changing. And when you beat it to a great extent, when you hit to a great extent, slowly, you can make that iron nail flat, right? Say you have an iron nail, right? Something like this. And when you try to hit it, generally like hit very hard. So on hitting, you know what? The same iron nail may become flat. That means on hitting, these metals changes their shape and they become flat. And this property is called with the name malleability. Okay, so we say metals are malleable. So metals are malleable. Okay, so we have something called malleability. So what do you mean by malleability? Ability of making metals into thin sheets. Thin sheets is called malleability. It's really very important. And in a market we can see aluminium foil. The food and all can be stored in aluminium foils, isn't it? So what is that foil? How they have made this aluminium foil? It's from aluminium. Okay, so on beating aluminium, it can become foil. You know, you can really make very thin sheets of metals. Okay, copper sheets are available. You can just watch the pictures, aluminium foils that we use to wrap the food, and also these thin foils can be put on sweets also, right, for the decoration purpose. So you know what, this is how metals can be made into thin sheets. So this property of metals, that we can make them into thin sheets by beating, is called as malleability. Okay, so this is really very important. Whereas, can you make non-metals into thin sheets? Never. So what I say is, non-metals are not malleable, right? So this point of difference is very important. And coming to the third important point, what we say is metals are ductile. We have another important property. We say metals are ductile. So there is a new word now. What do you mean by ductile or ductility? Okay, so have you ever seen the copper wires? Say copper. We use copper wires for electricity conduction. Say our every electrical wire has copper, right? Thin copper wires. Say ability of making metal into thin wires is called as ductility. Okay, say even gold can be made into thin wires. It's because we can mold the gold however we want. We can change the shape of a gold however we want. That's why gold and silver are used to make jewelry, isn't it? Gold jewelry, silver jewelry, how they are making? It's because gold and silver have a property called ductility. Okay, you can make them into thin wires, right? So what is ductility here? Ductility, I'm writing the definition of ductility: the ability of metal to make into thin wires is called ductility. You can observe the pictures: thin wires of copper, thin wires of silver, thin wires of gold is possible. Okay, so hard metal can be made into thin wires. This property is called ductility. And you should not get confused between malleability and ductility. Malleability is making the metal into thin sheets. Okay. Ductility is making the metal into thin wires. Right. So this is what we mean by malleability and ductility. So whereas coming to non-metals case, they are not ductile. You can't make them into thin wires. Okay. So they are not malleable and they are not ductile also. And coming to next property, metals conduct electricity. This is very important. Metals conduct electricity. That means these metals have a ability to carry electric current from one place to another place. Okay. So whereas non-metals are poor conductors of electricity, we say. Okay. So what do I write? They do not conduct electricity. Do not conduct electricity. Okay. Coal, sulfur powder, all they are bad conductors of electricity. In other words, I can say poor conductors of electricity. So this is one of the important point of difference that you have to remember. And coming to next property, metals are sonorous, we say. What do you mean by sonorous? Sonorous means they are the substances that produces sound on hitting. Okay, so when you hit iron with some substance, sound will come, isn't it? Right? So when you hit copper, when you hit silver articles, sound they produce. So when sound is produced on hitting, such a property is called as sonorous. Okay, so metals are sonorous. They are sonorous. That means they produce sound on hitting. Okay, so whereas non-metals are not sonorous. They are not sonorous. They do not produce any sound on hitting. Say for example, one iron rod, if it falls down, you get a big sound. But the coal, the powder, if it falls down, do you get a sound? No, right? So these are sound producing substances, sound producing elements. So they produce a sound, so they are called with the name sonorous. This property of producing sound is called sonorous. Okay, and another important property is they have metallic luster. Metallic luster. So what do you mean by metallic luster? It means that they have shiny nature. Right? So when you look at copper, it shines. When you look at silver, it shines. So that shiny nature is called with the name metallic luster. Okay. So here what do you write? They are not shiny. Right? They do not shine. So whatever the points you wrote for metals, everything is opposite for non-metals. Right? So by observing these characters, one can say which is a metal and which is a non-metal. Okay, but definitely by observing these characters alone, we cannot decide which is a metal and non-metal because there are some exceptions. Okay, so we always decide which is a metal or non-metal based on chemical reactions. Okay, metals react in a different way, non-metals react in a different way. Okay, so both react very differently with other elements. So when you look at the chemical reactions, you will identify what is the speciality of metals and what is the speciality of non-metals. So altogether, what I want to tell you is, based on these physical characteristics, to some extent you can decide, but there are many exceptions. So we will have to learn their chemical properties or chemical reactions also. So this completes today's session, and in my next class, I will come up with chemical reactions of metals. Okay, so do subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in a easiest way, and meet you all in the next class. Thank you so much.